Good evening, moguls out there. It's the Schwantz 27, and it's another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. I've got with me in the booth tonight E-Ninja 81. What's happening, E-Ninja? How are we doing?
Doing pretty good tonight.
So, if you've seen by the title of the stream, or if you're on YouTube, hi from the past, the title of the YouTube video, we've got a Megalixir Week 2 showdown here between four of our top runners in the top division, and it should be a heck of a good time. So let's check out and let's see exactly where the standings are after the first week of play. So this was after week 1. Before this week, we could see that Golden Shocker with a 103.59 finished in first place, grabbing that 9 points, almost 10 minutes ahead of the third place finisher, which is a crazy difference in Megalixir, with F. Coughlin showing up in second there with 6 points. Drinks Glue, the recent winner of the most recent event, the Flashback Battle Royale, with 4, Double Down with 3, Falcon Hit with 2, and my name is not on there because I ate a giant bag of FF that week, but my time was about 1:30 when I threw in the towel. Just an abysmal showing by myself. However, we dropped the 2 lowest scores in the 8 weeks, so there's still plenty of time to make up points here. But that is how the standings shake out after week 1. And we'll be watching week 2 showing up on your screen here. And the racers that we have in store for you tonight are, well, 4 of those top runners that finished in the points last week. We've got Golden Shocker with the green trim. We got Falcon Hit with the standard blue. F. Coughlin also with the standard blue. And then we have Double Down with that purple lightning here. So this is Ultros League. So care to, give a little insight as to what we'll be looking at here, E-Ninja?
Oh, I'm still disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
Glue got third. Not enough faith in Yeti.
Have faith in Yeti. I don't remember if... So I ran the seed, obviously. I do not remember if Yeti was or was not a part of our...
Yeah, praise the Yeti.
Sure. Exactly. We could see what our results will be with our Yetis in our party this week.
But no, this flags it. I've ran numerous of these seeds, and it'll be interesting to see how these 4 run.
So yeah, we're going to get started here in just a second, but it's the normal standard 6 character, 9 espers to unlock Final Kefka. For the Kefka Tower skip, it's either 9 characters or 12 espers or 22 checks. That's what that number there is next to that green imp. And we are counting the dragons because dragons, E-Ninja, do count towards our scaling here.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and kick off our runners and get us started. By the way, if there is some weird or bad audio in any of these, just let me know, because we are trying to go based on a VOD. As we said, these are not live, so we are going to be doing this based on a VOD. And I think I got the right people, but we'll see how it goes. Did Golden Shocker, did I let him start? Yes, he is started. But we do have Gogo, Cyan, and Locke with control and capture. Yick, that is not a good set of abilities here.
No, not really. No, it's not.
So, with that in mind, with these 3, where are you going with these 3 characters first here? Or what are you trying to do?
I mean... that's really rough. I mean, Locke, Cyan, Gogo, I mean... It's really tough because there's not a whole lot of checks that you can really do.
Well,
I mean, dome of defense maybe, and if you have some heals, maybe take grind off the enemies on the sides, and that's just
Well, we are seeing F. Coughlin, who already went to the Narsh weapon shop there, and it was a choice between an ice shield and something I already forgot because it was way worse than the ice shield. And he's hopping into Phoenix Cave right away, so no shopping, just looting here for Fred out the gate. And whoa, double down, hitting the jackpot there. Enhancers and Valiant Knives for sale in World of Balance South Figaro, and everyone, E-Ninja, can use the Valiant Knife.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so that changes up our approach just a little bit. Now we are going to be emphasizing looting so we can afford those 40,000 GP per Valiant Knife there.
Loot the basement, hawk everything, and get VKs.
Yes, so we did see an Ice Rod show up for Falcon Hit there in the Returner's hideout, and with Go-Go being able to mimic any item that you use, that's going to be a really good find for him. F. Coughlin, meanwhile, grabbing a cat hood out of Phoenix Cave, so that's really nice to see as well, giving you the ability to earn all of the GP possible during battle, and it gives some nice elemental resistance as well.
Yeah.
All right, so double down, heading through the basement here. I'm not seeing anything crazy thus far coming out of some of these chests here. Curse shield count was, I think that was 13. It was so fast on Golden Shocker. Did you happen to see it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so at 13, are you bothering to give that shield an uncurse, or what are you thinking?
I mean, this early in, if you have a ribbon or a what's the other one?
The Peace Ring.
Peace Ring. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, so it does teach you Ultima, and it also is the best shield in the entire game.
Oh, yeah, because it absorbs pretty much all elemental damage, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it absorbs 4 elements and nullifies the other 4. So it makes you basically invulnerable except for that non-elemental or defense-ignoring damage, of which there are bosses out there that have some, so we'll see as Falcon Hit does spot the VKs there. 50k GP for, I think there was an item at Zen Thief there, and there's the Peace Rings for Double Down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen.
Yep.
All right, so F. Coughlin not going through the dragon, however, does pick up a spicy character here at the end of the Phoenix Cave. That is Realm with GP Rain. So really nice pickup, and I think we're going to Zone Eater as well here. We're doing the trifecta of free checks here.
Yeah, that'll get me started on Zone Eater.
Well, Zone Eater.
I'm not a big fan of the go check.
Yeah, it can be very, very trolly with those chancellors. That can throw you off. However, there are a decent amount of treasure chests in there, and you don't have to fight anything to get the reward at the end. So there is a potential to run up the scaling a little bit, as that is only the second check there for our runners. Remember, we do want to get to 22 of them for a skip, so maybe that's what F. Coughlin's doing, hedging their bets here, running up the scaling a little bit. Double down in World of Ruin Albrook, so another off the beaten path shop here.
Yeah.
So again, when you see Valiant Knives in a shop and all three, there's fixed dice for Golden Shocker behind the clock in the basement there of South Figaro. I don't know if Double Down got that. I tend to actually not go after that chest all that often because it just takes so long to go get it. But in this seed, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so runners are all converging on South Figaro now, except for Double Down spiking a Minerva out of a pot there from Albrook. So yeah, after we do our free checks, E-Ninja, where are you thinking we go here? We do have Realm from F. Coughlin, so maybe Owzer's Mansion with the grind fights, or take off the Moogle Charm before the lock check. What would you sort of do here? What would your plan be?
I mean, you have the Realm check, which is, and you could do the actual chest as you go through Owzer's Mansion, depending on what they are. I've seen people do that.
Yeah, that is a repeatable grind fight. You pull down the
Yeah.
chest once, and if it's something
And
good, you can do
you-
it 4 more or 3 more times,
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah, if it's something that's actually decent, yeah, drop them all down and rack up some experience.
Speaking of decent, that's a fire rod here for Thamasa for Double Down. So Double Down looked like their strategy here was to go to some of the off the beaten path shops and chests here, and it is paying off for them. Red Jacket as well in a barrel there.
And like someone said there in chat, I mean, almost no one does the chest, but I do like an early grind if it's an easy fight.
All right, so there are warp stones for Double Down. That is almost a requirement for doing what Falcon Hit is doing here, into the belly of the beast for the Zone Eater. So they saw the Valiant Knives and they decided, hey, I need more. Wow, white dresses and Magus hats in that shop. So nice magic boosting gear in that shop there for Double Down. Bunch of earrings that F. Coughlin just purchased, as well as, I think, a Cursed Ring. So Cursed Ring will teach you the X-Zone spell at a 5x rate. And I don't know about you, but I love to have some form of instant death for the final boss.
No, Falcon Hit just did that just right. I know about the whole buffering thing to keep the guy from hitting you off the thing.
Alright, so it looks like Cyan can use the fixed dice on Golden Shocker's screen, so we at least have some form of offense. And whoa, Experience Egg for Double Down in World of Ruin, South Figaro. Wow, the seed is giving out stuff if you just know where to go and look here.
Yeah.
Alright, that is our first piece of Magicite from Zone Eater. And oh my goodness, Merton Bolt 3 and Speed +2. That is a nice Esper there too.
I like it.
All right, so with these caliber of runners, E-Ninja, when you have this much stuff available to you, are you thinking, I just need to go as fast as humanly possible here? Let's get ourselves going.
Oh, yeah.
31 tonics. So it seems like F. Coughlin is definitely going to be doing some grind fighting there in order to use that amount of potions. Falcon Hit is going to go give us a peek at the Curse Shield. Same with Double Down. They have yet to do this Narsh Weapon Shop check as the other runners on the left-hand side did. And it looks like down into Zone Eater, we already knew that this was going to happen on Fred's screen. It's just Falcon Hit happened to get there first. And I think that's 50,000 in both worlds there for that's his Zen Thief. So not much difference between both worlds, and it is an item. It's not an Esper. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather spend my 40k on a Valiant Knife than 50k on a question mark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 13 Battle Curse Shield. Chat, what do you think? Yay or nay to uncursing that shield? I think 13 is really high, especially with this starting party where we don't have a check that has grind fights in it, right? I guess you could argue Cyan's Dome of Siege does, right? But none of the other ones do. And oh, the jackpot for Falcon Hit! It's Gigantos, and we've got control.
It's the G.
Oh, man.
You got the G.
So I think what we should do here is use lock to use control, have Cyan crack a rod, and then have Gogo mimic that rod over and over again. I think that is what I would do if I was in this state here. Because the thing about control is that it allows the enemies to not hit you, and I think using it defensively like that is such a good idea here from Falcon Hit. Or you could just do Revenge over and over again, and that'll take forever because it's doing 19 damage a turn. Alright, we're getting up there. Now we're at 45. Next time it'll be 90. Oh, so we do see F. Coughlin, Walk of Shame, high five there with Golden Shocker in the Crusher Room. A lot of people going to Zone Eater here. This is an interesting play, E-Ninja. I don't know if I would do... I think I did do this when I was doing this run for myself, just because I did not get progression at the Narsh Weapon Shop, so I didn't think it was too bad going to get myself another piece of progression. But yeah, the Zone Eater Cave is a very polarizing check within the community. Alright, there's the Warp Stones from Golden Shocker and Double Down. So now the question is, where do we go from here? And Falconit finally takes care of that Gigantos, so that'll be a bucket of HP. We're probably at level 12 already, just from that one fight. Can you hear me okay, E-Ninja? I don't know, I can't hear you if you're talking, so... E-Ninja has left the building, folks. Anyway, Golden Shocker parked right outside of Mount Zozo. And Falconit looks like they're going into Dome and Dream right away, so being able to get those levels from Gigantos means that Falconit doesn't have to do with what our other runners are doing, which is to take off the Moogle Charm and go do some stuff. So, a lot of use out of Control from our top tier runners here. So, Control is a pretty garbage ability. However, we could see how to get some good usage out of it. Use it defensively early on in order to make sure that those enemies don't take any turns, because this Landworm can very easily wipe you.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, here he is. He's back. What's up, E-Ninja?
I'm sorry. I had to...
Oh, it's all good. I just didn't know if my microphone cut out or something. The chat said I was okay. And oh no, boy. No. Ooh. This is a boss fight here for Falconit. Yick.
I mean...
So...
Sad.
So we do have Alexander... And we do have Go-Go to Mimic, but yeah, this is going to be rough here for Falconit.
I mean, mimicking ice rods.
Yeah, it'll get the job done. It's going to take a little bit.
I don't know if that'll be enough.
So remember, the rods will do the highest amount of magic damage that your character can do.
Mm-hmm.
And with Go-Go, you just have to keep using Mimic over and over again, and you'll eventually get through this fight. But I think we may have taken up a little bit too much progression there, as Golden Shocker barely ekes it out in that fight, but he does end up learning Bolt 3, which is going to be hugely important.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Double Down is at the White Dragon fight here, is going to be using the fixed ice, and then I believe a couple of rods in order to get through this fight. Meanwhile, F. Coughlin also using Control here on the bears just to make sure that it does not kill him. The problem with this fight is that these guys have very high physical evade. And, oh, Fred is broke!
He's broke.
F's in the chat for Fred's bank account. Fred, put your Cash App in the chat. We'll send you some cash. Oh, and it's White Dragon here for Double Down, and oh boy. Thankfully, the level question Pearl is missing, and Falconit gets through Chatternook there with that Ice Rod plus Mimic play. Very nicely done. So that means that he'll probably have Bolt 3 learned as well. So now he actually has something to take care of the second boss in Cyan's Dream. Hopefully, maybe, and that is a second Esper there for Falconit. Dragon down for Double Down. And then they'll be at the end of Mount Zozo in a second. Is that a ghost sprite?
Nah, it's a ghost sprite.
Alright, so this will be another Esper.
Figure.
Yeah, so this will be another Esper, not a character here. Aura Lance is the reward from the dragon, and I think we saw Dragoon Boots in a shop somewhere. I think maybe F. Coughlin showed it to us here in Jador, which you wouldn't go there unless you had Realm kind of thing. So, and it looks like Mount Zozo's a dead check here.
Like it says, it's not our savior. No.
I mean, not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because, again, you don't want to buff scaling up too high. Oh, okay. We'll take one of those as well, please. Thank you. So that's the second experience egg we've seen this seed. One in the barrel in South Figaro, and then one at Mount Zozo.
A lot of experience eggs.
All right, Golden Shocker getting through their fight here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like... Ew, this fight is gross.
What is at the top of Mount Zozo? Apparently just a glitter.
Yeah, that's that experience egg that we saw from Double Down. So I think Double Down has 2 of them. I think this is Golden Shocker's first experience egg. I don't think anybody else went to World of Ruin South Figaro yet. Alright, meanwhile, Double Down cashing in some of the stuff that he picked up in Mount Zozo for a second Valiant Knife. Oh, look at what we're doing here. Double Valiant Knife.
I like it. Oh, Dallahan there at the throne, huh?
Yeah, not a terrible boss to find here. Because we do have that Bolt 3 spell, so doesn't absorb lightning, which is nice.
Yeah.
This looks like Opera House Dragon for Golden Shocker here. And their stream is getting a little jumpy.
Yeah.
F. Coughlin taking another extra grind fight there. And Double Down is unfortunately going to get the Ultros and Chupon fight here.
Yep. Ultros 4.
0 XP.
A sneeze fit.
Golden Shocker takes on another dragon, gets a cat hood. And there's another Ultros on the screen. Ultros 1. Yeah, here we go. So now we got Bolt 3 plus Mimic, so our runners are in pretty good shape here. Dallahan down for Falcon hit. F. Coughlin at the end of Bowser's Mansion, picking up Starlet. Oh, and that is Sabin there for Double Down. At the South Figaro Cave. Second Magicite there for Golden Shocker. And third Magicite. So Dream was 3 Espers.
I like it.
Oop, that was the wrong person. Sorry about that. Alright, Golden Shocker there. Finishing Doma Siege, and Doma Siege is an Esper.
I mean, I see double calmness here, don't I? For sure saw Golem and Fenrir. So, you know.
Yeah, Fenrir was...
I'm just saying, they got both.
Alright, let's see if we can fix the jumping here in Golden Shocker stream.
That's a little weird.
Alright, let me remove the scene and then come back into it. And that shadow at Imperial Camp there.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to try and re-add him, so give me just a second, folks. Part of the problem with Golden Shocker is that he played a seed on stream before the other one, so we kind of have to guesstimate about where he is in this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try my best to get this right. Alright, I went a little too far. Let's back him up a little bit here. There we go. This is still too far. I'll hold out on him until we get to this point about. Meanwhile, Double Down is having some trouble here in Imperial Camp. A lot of trouble.
Technical things on the fly.
Oh, that is a vanilla throw shadow as well.
I mean, yes. Thank you, please.
Yeah, so Shadow coming into the party. I did not see who was going out. But with both, with all of Cyan and Locke and Gogo able to use that that Valiant Knife, I don't know who else would be a good substitute there. Let me make sure I have all these counts correct now. Let's see if I can look at somebody's tracker.
They're still the Lord and Savior. That is Umaro.
Well, beggars can't be choosers here.
I mean, come on.
So we do know where 6 characters are in the seed. It's just a matter of getting them all in the same spot here. Let's see. Falcon hits tracker. 3 and 5. Yes, okay, that one is correct. Sorry about this. I'm trying to like crop on the fly and making sure I don't miss anything. I think everything is all good here.
I think it looks good so far from what I see.
All right, so there is Sabin for Falcon hit. And F. Coughlin here is going up against Chad, so they will get their 3 Espers here in Cyan's Dream.
Yeah.
Alright, so Double Down has 5 characters and just 1 Esper. So, with this sort of imbalance here, E-Ninja, do you sort of change your route up a little bit? Do you tend to focus certain checks over others when it's this lopsided?
With 5 characters like that, I generally go with the one that has the most, which apparently Falcon hits doing Imperial Camp. Probably Imperial Camp. He's already done Doma, right?
Yeah, so Double Down already did Imperial Camp, so that's why he's got Shadow. And Doma Dream makes a lot of sense here because the first and third check can be Esper item only, and he needs Espers, so this is a good spot for him to go. Little does he know that this is 3 Espers out of Dream here.
Yeah.
Alright, so runners are digging in Monster in a Boxes, looking for that offering for that Valiant Knife, so that's another thing, right? Do you now sort of shift your focus and try and do checks with Monster in a Boxes because you have those offerings?
A little bit, yes. If I have a Valiant Knife at my weapon, yeah, I'm looking for an offering. Either one.
Alright, so our offering is not an Imperial Camp. So out of the characters we have access to here, There is the classroom, which is accessible all the time. Oh, Saban has sword tech. Okay. So no wonder why our runners are heading straight to Cyan's Dream after getting Saban.
Yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
I mean, you don't find Doom or X-Zone, you have an insta-kill for Final Kefka. No matter what.
Alright, so it looks like Golden Shocker is taking Go-Go and leaving Cyan on the airship. Which is interesting, again, given the fact that Cyan can use the Valiant Knife. Same thing with Double Down. Double Down is also going with the same party there, leaving Cyan on the airship. We'll see what Falcon Hit decides to do after they grab their Shadow.
Actually using Alexander. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, so Alexander will summon Pearl, and Chatternook is weak to both Fire and Pearl, so that's a really good heads-up play. He probably was going to try and mimic it with Go-Go, and unfortunately, Go-Go is face down.
Unfortunately, Go-Go took a bolt to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens.
So, out of the monster in a boxes we were referring to, the Phantom Train has one, but it's all the way at the end. There is the Collapsing House, which has 2 of them. And there is...
There's 2 in the cave right before the ancient castle, and then there's 1 in the... when you jump down for Umaro's check, yeah.
Yeah, we don't unfortunately have Umaro or Edgar. We do have Shadow, who has 1 on the floating continent and then 1 on the Veld.
Yeah, 1 on the Veld. Yeah.
Or the Veld Cave, I should say, rather. So.
Yeah, you got those checks, yeah.
Alright, Double Down having a struggle bus against this Chatternook. I guess it makes sense to keep Go-Go if you have a throw user around, because Go-Go can mimic thrown objects like so.
Yeah, like Ninja Stars.
Yeah, so there we go. Finally getting through that, Chad. Whew, that took a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Chad could be a bit of a butt.
We'll counter basically everything with lightning magic. We'll use water magic on his own turn. And absorbs lightning, which unfortunately Bolt 3 is our best spell right now. I haven't really seen any other spells that are worthy.
Which also, if it goes back to goddess form, likes to charm your people.
Oh, hi there. That is character number 6 for Golden Shocker with Celeste.
Magitech facility?
I don't think we have a Magitech command, but yes, we can. We definitely need Espers though. So,
but Espers, I mean, like that's 3 checks. Boom, boom, boom. He's gonna go do He's gonna do Shadows first. Then I think Golden Shocker's gonna go straight to Magitech.
Yeah, that totally makes sense here.
I think so. We'll see.
All right, so F. Coughlin getting through the second fight there, getting that Esper.
No, South Figaro.
Yeah, we can go check the check in the basement here for free. We have to be careful, though, because, again, we're running up the score a little bit. We just did a... Well, actually, that's not true, because there was a Minerva, right, at Gao Manor, so we didn't actually increase scaling there. It looks like we're buying another VK.
And now hear me out. Is it actually quicker just go down, do the check, and then come back up this way as opposed to the other way?
It doesn't.
I think it's
it's quicker if you continue out towards the right. Yeah, the way that Golden Shocker is going. And by the way, that is the 3rd experience egg this seed. We found one at Mount Zozo, one in a bucket in South Figaro, and then that one there from Celeste.
I was just kind of wondering if it was a little quicker the other way.
It's omelet time, baby. Yes, it is slightly quicker to continue walking out. than to going back up the stairs. And it's because there's more screen transitions if you go back up the stairs than
I see.
walking back out. And it's,
I wasn't sure,
it's slightly
actually.
longer distance, too.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure on that. Like I said, I'm still learning.
Well, you are watching the best of the best here on screen, so
I know.
it's always good to learn a thing or two from our runners here. Falcon Hit also picking up the egg in the box there. Meanwhile, F. Coughlin there, done with the Dome of Siege fight. We'll get another Esper. That is Carbuncle.
And Falcon Hit's about ready to get his next experience egg.
Yeah, you could basically get back-to-back egg here.
Yep.
All right, meanwhile, that is a merchant holding up Collapsing House. So this is a nice check here for Golden Shocker because there are 2 monster in a boxes here. And you did see that you can talk to the innkeeper during the Falling House cutscene, and they will heal you for free. So that's a really good heads-up play there from them. All right, so double down, grabbing 2 more Espers from Cyan's Dream. And all of a sudden, their Sabin is now powered up, and they have 3 more Espers.
And one check was a bust. Let's see what the other is. Just Spectres.
Yeah, so no Katana Soul yet for our runners.
Nope.
Alright, and it's lowly leader time. Putting that cursed ring to good use there with that X-Zone. See you later. 2 leader. Bye-bye now. So let's see what we get from Esper Mountain. And just as the name implies, it is another Esper there. Golden Shocker finishing up Collapsing House here. Double down, entering Collapsing House.
Yep.
No Warp Stones here for Fred either. Second time he's having to do the Walk of Shame out of a check. Alright, and that is Shoat there for Golden Shocker.
Nice. I mean, it's a form of insta-kill. It casts what? Break?
Yes.
Basically.
So yeah, on tier 1, it will work. It will
Yeah,
not
on
work
tier
on tier
1.
2. You can
No,
break
it's
arms,
okay.
but you can't break tools. That's my little
Yeah.
memorization device.
But yeah, Shout does actually break. Yeah.
Alright, so right-hand side runners are into the Collapsing House. F. Coughlin here going to pick up their Sabin. So Realm, unfortunately, was kind of a dead end here. We did get 2 Espers out of Realm's checks, and of course we have Realm, who is the best magic caster in the game. However, her checks did not lead to other characters, so we had to pick up Sabin, I believe, in this case.
I'm still wondering if it's like maybe a Kefka and Arsh, because no one's done that yet, have they?
Yeah, that is true.
And no one's even went up there to even check it.
Yeah, I usually don't check Kefka and Arsh unless you're getting pretty desperate.
Well, no one's done South Figaro Castle, have they?
We do not have Edgar.
Oh, they don't have Edgar. Never
Yeah,
mind.
it was Celeste that we got, not Edgar. Yep.
Celeste. Opera House? Ugh. Opera House or Magitech facility?
Yeah, I think between our runners, though, we mostly know how to get to our go mode. It's just getting there. Remember, we're only 35 and a half minutes into the seed, and we're almost there already. So, blazing fast speed from our runners here.
Yeah. What would you do in this situation right now?
Yeah, so if I've got my 6 characters, I'm strictly doing my Esper checks, like you said. I'm doing Magitech Factory. I'm doing Dream if I haven't done it already, and then I'm doing peekable checks, stuff like Phantom Train or Imperial Camp or cave on the Velt. You know, stuff that you can go and peek before you go do it.
So you're basically saying, like, with Golden Shocker and Falcon Hit, probably stuff would be like Magic Facility and stuff. Basically for Espers and stuff.
Yeah, I'd want to save Magitech Facility for last, just, you know, just to make sure I get my last 2 Espers there. But at the same time, right, if you strike out, you could still go all the way through to the end. And you're guaranteed either a character, which gives you more checks, or your Esper, which will be something you need anyway.
It's guaranteed progressive. I already knew that.
Alright, so Golden Shocker heading through Cyan's Dream here to level up their Sabin. Remember, Sabin does have Sword Tech, so we'll get access to all of the Sword Techs here. It was an Aura Lance at Zen Thief, so Falcon Hit just bought it, even though it was not an Esper. One of the reasons why you would do that is to get to the 22 checks for check skip.
Yep. Which they are at, what, 13? So, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're done buying Valiant Knives, right? Like, that's the thing you were saving money for.
Yeah, I mean, you're done.
Alright, meanwhile, Golden Shocker struggling against Chad. Chad is the real MVP of the seed here.
I don't like Chad. But Chad is down.
Alright, so that is going to be the first of their 3 Espers, and Double Down is going to float on to the end there and pick up their Celeste. So let's put Celeste on the board for them. Put another Esper on the board for Golden Shocker here. Yeah, so that was Fenrir in Dream. So I guarantee you almost everybody is going to have access to Fenrir, which, as you mentioned earlier, was Calmness Protection. Alright, so Falcon Hit, unfortunately, going to head into Mount Zozo, is just going to do this for 2 checks, because we know that there is no Esper at the end of this here. So this is what I mean by, like, peekable checks, right? Like, this is not something I know what the reward is before I go all the way to the end. So I'd rather focus on Magitech Velt Cave, things like that. But that's just me, and I could be wrong. And this week, clearly I was, because I was not in the top 4. Spoiler alert, I guess. Double Down grabbing his 3rd egg of the seed. They're at the South Figaro prisoner spot. Yeah, on top of that, E-Ninja, we want to look at spots, I think, if it were me, where I could go find an offering out of a monster in a box, right? So that's things like Collapsing House, which I think a lot of our runners have already done. But I don't think anybody has done Velt Cave yet, which there is a monster in a box
Velt
there.
Cave.
Yeah. Alright, we're getting some new information here for Double Down, heading over to Mount Colts, which is conveniently right next to where he just was in South Figaro. Dragon down for Falcon Hit there. Good to learn some spells, although, like I said, I haven't really seen many spells other than Bolt 3. We do have some Quick as well, but Quick is not necessarily an offensive spell. But you can definitely use it to generate offense.
I mean, it can be.
Alright, end of the line there for Falcon Hit, so just gonna get their item here. I don't even remember what it was. Oh no, this is an egg, right? It was one of the eggs. Yeah, that feels bad. A 41-minute experience egg is not something you really want to see. Especially in a check that was available from the start, because then you're thinking, oh my god, my other opponents, somebody definitely got this. So now what do I do?
It looks like Double Down's got the fun fight, with all the condemned counters.
Yeah, easy though with Sword Tech 8. You just do that, and that's an easy fight for you there.
Yeah.
And does get an Esper there, Shiva. Looks like Falcon Hit is heading up to the world of Ruin Narsh there. Does not have Umaro, much to the sadness of some of the people in chat here as well as yourself. However, you can get an Esper from Tritalk. It is an Esper item reward. So this is a pretty good idea here from Falcon Hit.
I mean, crazy Eddie.
It's starting to sound a lot more like a cult than a...
No, we're not cultists. Right.
Alright, so there is the last two Espers out of Cyan's Dream there for Golden Shocker, and all of a sudden they are 2 Espers away from Go Mode, as is F. Coughlin, and Double Down will be after this Guardian fight as well. So it's still anybody's race here, folks. Alright, here comes another Monster in a Box check, and it is not the Katana Soul that we are looking for.
Yeah.
Falcon Hit already killed that dragon. I looked away for a second and it was gone.
Falcon's pretty good.
Yeah, Falcon Hit, multiple Ultros League champion of Megalixir. Won, I believe, 3 seasons in a row before finally being dethroned last season by Gar. Who, if we bring up the stats real quick, did they finish last week? No, they did not.
Actually, I think my mentor was is in Megalixir as well.
The competition is very tough.
I'm pretty sure you know who my mentor was, don't you?
Oh, Mr. Trinskelu. Yeah,
yeah.
Came in 3rd, I think, last week.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so Falcon Hit taking out the Tritalk spot. Let's see what their reward is. Golden Shocker following closely behind. So that is Esper number 7 there for Falcon Hit. Unless I can't math correctly. Bottom runners here also taking the same path, heading to the Velt Cave. However, SR Behemoth giving them some problems.
Wait, was that vanilla?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is vanilla. It's the Behemoth spot, yeah.
So this will be nice for F. Coughlin getting a Behemoth suit for their realm. I don't know who else can use it.
You can X-Zone it?
Yeah, in Phase 2 you can X-Zone it, and it looks like...
Yeah, you can't remedy it or Phoenix Down it or anything like that.
That is correct.
So they're not dead.
Right. It is undead, so you can use Doom or X-Zone, and my math is off, so sorry. That is our first runner in Go Mode there, F. Coughlin. Let's see if I have their check count correct. Let's see. Oh, he uses the tracker that doesn't use the check count. Okay. So we're just going to assume that it's correct. We'll assume I did my job.
It's Fred. Good chance he's probably Go Mode.
Yeah, I saw the Go Mode message pop up. I just don't know how many checks he is away from his skip. Because if he's at 15, he's still pretty far away from skip. All right, so Double Down showing us that you can actually use Sword Tech 8 as well against the second phase of SR Behemoth. And Falcon Hit here is against the Martial Dueler fight in Magitech Factory.
Yeah, and Coughlin's deciding to take the Gigantos. He wants a little buff to his experience.
Yeah, that is the most XP dense fight in the entire game. And there's Unicorn for Falcon Hit.
Oh, I love getting double G's.
So
and an encounter.
Oh, double G's are where it's at. All right, so Golden Shocker will be in go mode after the first part of the Magitech Factory here. We already know that because Falcon Hit is just ahead of him. And hey, this is another unrandomized boss here. What do you think about that?
I mean, he knows his place. He knows his role. And apparently he's dead now.
Yeah, that boss is not a problem for our squad with Bolt 3. And Valiant Knifes on Cyan. And Throw. Alright, that is go mode there for Falcon Hit as well.
Yeah.
If my counting is correct, though, he is at 19 checks, which is way closer to Skip than some of our other runners are. Let's just... Yep, so I am correct. That was 19.
So
if you're Falcon Hit, do you go for 3 more for Skip, or do you just go in the tower and go?
I mean, I would do 1 more. Does he have a Freach? No, he's going straight for it. I was like, is there 1 check that you can do?
Yeah, if he didn't buy to Zen Thief yet,
Opera House is the only thing, right?
Yeah, you can easily buy to Zen Thief if you didn't yet. It looks like he is going to take the 2 checks in the middle, the Dragon and the Toilet Atma spot.
Yeah. And do something for another check, and then, yeah. I could see that.
Golden Shocker moving on here, I believe. So, question from the chat from Plastic Cat. Does the auction house count? Yes, so the auction house counts as 2 checks. However, you have to buy the $20,000 reward and the $10,000 reward. So, buying the 50k item doesn't get you a check. It's only those middle 2 things. Well, for Falcon Hit here. This is the jail spot, right?
Yeah, Toilet Atma. Yep.
That's another check there for Falcon Hit. Golden Shocker gets his next check down. I believe Double Down killed the dragon, so let's bump that up. Alright, so that's a Flame Shield there for Falcon Hit. And I must have miscounted Golden Shocker's Espers because that was his go mode. But again, at 19 checks, you got to be thinking, I need to get 3 more for Skip. Double Down also at go mode at, I think, 18 checks.
Yeah.
So the auction house is not terrible for a check unless you get very unlucky. The thing is... The slots have a percentage of them, right? The $50,000 item comes up 50% of the time. So the majority of the time, you will get that item first, and then you bump up, if you buy it, the reward, which is at $20,000 to 50%, and the $10,000 reward to 25%. So if you only need 1 check, all you really have to do is buy the $50,000 thing, and then you have a 75% chance of getting that 1 check. Yeah. So that's like 2.5 minutes maybe? If you have the money for it, obviously.
Yeah, roughly. That math is pretty much spot on.
But you have to have cash. Cash rules everything around us, right? Ooh, and a triple frozen there for Double Down. Not really one he wants to see, but thankfully, the Ice Dragon is the least amount of HP dragon in the entire game. and I prematurely gave him an increased dragon count. So we're just going to increase his check count there to 19.
Falcon's got one last check, and he's going... Where is he going?
So he's probably going to do the dragon on the right side now. Because the two dragons in Kefka's Tower also count as checks.
I always forget about the other dragon.
Yeah, so there is a dragon that the middle team takes on, and there is a dragon that the right team takes on.
I always forget about that dragon. I never fight that one.
I tend to fight that one a lot if I feel under-leveled going into Kefka's Tower and I'm just so far away from check skip, right? Because then I could use my whole team to fight the first boss and then fight the dragon and get twice as much XP. And Falcon Hit looks like he screwed up on his party, maybe. So he's coming
just not
out.
Used to it.
Yeah, I think most of our runners here are going for check skip. If I had to guess, Fred is way above 18.
He hasn't done Opera House, has he?
Okay, so it looks like Falcon Hit is going to do Opera House. Dragon.
Which would be game 22, so there's a skip.
Yeah, so he's doing this because he doesn't want to have to fight the Inferno boss and the dragon, right?
Oh.
This way he fights just the dragon, and then he's in the skip. So this makes a whole lot of sense. So this is a good heads-up play there from Falcon.
Oh, that's right, because that branch, you have to fight Inferno and the dragon.
That's correct, yeah. You don't have access to the dragon yet.
Like I said, I don't fight that very often.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you practice it a little bit, then it's fine. As, Cyan has a huge amount of XP, but it doesn't matter because we want him to have a lower amount of HP because of Merton. Nice play there from Falcon Hit. And I believe that'll be Kefka Tower skip for Golden Shocker. There it is. Yeah. So Shocker is our first one with unlock plus skip at about 53.5 minutes. And there's Falcon Hit with skip just right behind him.
They are just toe and toe.
So now it just depends on what the bosses in the gauntlet have to offer us and who puts their characters in the correct spot.
And what kind of misery do we get here?
Will there be shenanigans, folks? Well, let's think about the bosses we've seen, right? We've seen Chad, we've seen Guardian. Who else have we seen that could be a problem?
We haven't seen any statues.
No.
And we have we seen Magi?
I don't think we've seen like the 5 hardest bosses in the game: the statues, Doom Gaze, and Magi Master. So this could get spicy here in the tower.
This could be spicy tower. I like it.
Or it could be nothing, right? We could get, the 2 other Ultroses in tunnel armor. Okay. There is tunnel armor, never mind.
Oh, man.
Alright, Atma Weapon is not too bad here in the middle lane for a boss.
Atma 1. Easy.
Alright, so there is Fred's Kefka Tower skip, so I knew I was off with my tracking just a little bit there.
It's fine.
Meanwhile, Kefka coming down for an appetizer here. His monument to non-existence was not cool enough for him, I guess.
I mean, are you seriously wanting to aggravate the Cyan with the Valiant Knife? I mean, it seems like a good idea.
Wow, that is a lot of damage, Phil Swift.
Quake into a Demi. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was a marsupial there too. I saw a wombat.
Yeah, I saw a womple.
Alright. Falcon Hit and Golden Shocker both taking down their first boss here of the tower. And now, oh my goodness, you see how much HP that Cyan has? 8,000 HP at max. So
was it 8,000?
Each one of these swings is going to do an extra 6,700 damage. Oh my goodness. Goodbye, Ultros. All right, so 2 of our 3 tower bosses so far have been pushovers.
Falcon Hit's just kind of like being like, yeah, this is fine.
We good. We good. No biggie. All right. First boss down there for F. Coughlin. And then last boss here for Falcon Hit. Oh, hello. Wow, he brought the right party to this fight.
No 5.
Double Merton here. Yeah, so this is not going to be a problem for Falcon Hit.
Double Merton.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, so he'll be dead either this turn or the next turn. For sure.
That's a lot of Mertons.
Yeah, so doing 15k a turn between the 2 of these. So, Doomgaze is a lot of HP, but not that much HP. Very nicely done there for Falcon Hit.
Yeah, Falcon Hit's...
Alright. F. Coughlin passing the math test there. And I believe he's got a couple of Valiant Knife users here. Maybe not. That looked like a Tiger Fang there from Cyan. Who's not doing very much. So sometimes when I have a meat shield as my second character here in a fight where I have someone with a Valiant Knife, I will actually target my own team with the Valiant Knife or with the meat shields to get the Valiant Knife's person's HP down a bit. This is a little sketchy here because Doomgaze likes to cast Doom, so you want to have at least one other person alive, so you do want your meat shield to stay alive, just in case, you know, you get the bad Doom. Good usage of Quick there by F. Coughlin after getting the Phoenix down to get his character up. Really nice heads-up play there.
Very impressive.
Alright, last boss for Falcon Hit is Kefka before the Kefka.
Kefka before the Kefka.
And decides he's going to burn the whole world down. Sorry, Sabin. Meanwhile, Golden Shocker here, going up against Doomgaze. Passes his math test. Oh, we got fixed ice from Cyan. Haven't seen that really all seed, except at the very, very beginning. Meanwhile, left-hand side of the screen is dealing with a couple Kefkas.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of damage coming out from those ninja stars there. Alright, Golden Shocker going to take it safe against this Doomgaze here. Going to use the X potion on Shadow. Which will be nice because Shadow would have probably died there if Cyan didn't get him the X potion. Or maybe not. Maybe that was a Minerva.
I think it's Minerva.
Uh-oh. W-wind. Fractional damage. It does miss. Yeeting that big sharp stick, and it still doesn't take down Doomgaze here. Oh boy. We're now in clench mode, as I like to call it, where we have one character who can get doomed to death. Meanwhile, Falcon Hit will step up to the switches, and there it is for Golden Shocker. Has to eat a reset. Speaking of eating bad things, Double Down did not pass his math test there. So he got struck by the smooth criminal as well. Alright, looks like he's going to go ahead and equip Cyan. makes sense here. Make him survive a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Falcon hit his first uptick final Kefka. I don't know if they could use Merton with the whole team or if that was just a strategy because he only has like 2 pieces of Merton protection instead of 4. Looks like he's going to do it anyway.
I think so. Maybe.
Alright, he's got 4 pieces of Merton protection there. I think we found 2 Minervas, right? A Blizzard Orb and then a Shield.
Yeah.
So I think that's our Merton protection. So this gets dangerous here when you're using Merton all the time because you don't want to kill all the parts of this boss at the same time because if the head is left alive at the end, they'll death counter with Quake. That longer arm will death counter with Shockwave up to 3 times, which is not good either.
Oh, I know.
Doomgaze down for double down, and F. Coughlin is stepping up to final Kefka here. So we will have our second runner. Oh boy, hang on, Cyan, hang on. Oh boy. He just got smacked a little and then parried. Oh boy, what do you do here? So the thing with the Balled Up Fist is that he'll basically counterattack almost all the time. So if I was Falcon hit, I would just make sure that Cyan does not do the finishing move here. And out comes the Shockwave. So yeah, Shockwave, because that long arm was left last alive, so we had to heal Cyan so that he couldn't accidentally die to that. So nice heads up play from Falcon hit. Has to take it a little slow though, compared to F. Coughlin, who's going to use Sword Tech 8, and then Merton. Golden Shocker getting past Doomgaze finally. However, Double Down beats him to the final switches. So, still anybody's race here, E-Ninja.
Like I said, with Falcon was he was skating pretty thin there.
Yeah, so the thing is, now his Cyan is going to be doing a lot less damage than normal because he's got a high amount of HP. So, it looks like... Oh, there we go. Wow! Cyan almost killed himself there. Somehow didn't, even though he did, what, like 5,500 damage to himself? That's wild.
Did he intentionally hit himself?
Yes, to get Cyan back to
I see. Okay.
Lower health. F. Coughlin there showing off some tech. You could actually steal or capture elixirs from every single part of Final Kefka on tiers 1 and 2. So nice to see him using that strategy there. Elixirs will come in handy at some point. Alright. Wow. Double Down casting some shell on his party. Interesting strategy on tier 1 where they mostly do physical damage.
Man, a lot of Mertens.
Yeah, so I was not able to have Merton protection this seed. I only found one of the 2 Minervas that these guys found. So I was using Sword Tech plus VKs plus magic.
Oh. There goes the Cyan.
Yeah, let's pick Cyan back up and do this again. So I think here you see the detriment of Falcon Hit not having his Sword Tech Sabin in the party, whereas everybody else did and was able to easily get off that instant death on both tools and that long arm there. This F. Coughlin, meanwhile, doesn't have mute from magic, but does have tools down here on tier 2. Golden Shocker surpassing Double Down once again here. Just showing you how powerful his offense is. However, Double Down Sabin is doing 12k a turn there with Sword Tech 7. Wow.
Yep.
Magic and a magic, and Falcon Hit is struggling here in tier 2.
Yep.
Whew, that Cyan, though. Thankfully has life too, which is actually a very good cure spell. Looks like F. Coughlin also casts his own Seek on his whole party. Because both him and Double Down have that shell. This is the part of the battle script where Magic gets really annoying because he can counter, and then he could also take his turn. So that's basically what happened to Fred there. Muddle coming out on Golden Shocker, Cyan, or Sabin rather. Oh no, this could end in disaster here. Thankfully it was Sword Tech 5 and not queued up Sword Tech 8. But does absorb some life out of Locke, who needed it anyway with the Valiant Knife. Talk about planned that way, right? Look at this. More quarters than an arcade machine on the right-hand side. Falcon Hit eating 4 of them. Double Down eating 3 of them. And out comes the Flare Star here. Tier 2 showing you why it don't play around, folks.
Oh, Tier 2 never plays around.
Alright, we gotta be careful here, because Double Down, he's holding on to dear life. Falcon Hit, meanwhile, does get up to Tier 3, but all of his party is in triple-digit HP. We've got a Zombie Cyan for F. Coughlin there. Let's go ahead and make sure that doesn't happen. Golden Shocker still recovering with his lock.
He has the 10 hits that just came out.
All right, so we got it very close here between Falcon Hit and F. Coughlin. Falcon Hit, I would say, is about like a 7 or 8 second lead, maybe 10. But it's not much. Oh, man. Very risky play here from Falcon Hit. So if you don't know... oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Fenrir, not Golem. So Fenrir is a lot better there than Golem. But yeah, look at the HP totals of our crew. Holy cow. Between Falcon Hit and F. Coughlin, we have exactly 1 character out of 8 that has more than triple-digit HP.
Yeah, I see.
Golden Shocker, meanwhile, heading up to Tier 3. 10 hits coming out for Double Down as well.
Falcon Hit is just tiptoeing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sortek Sabin there doing 14k a turn for Fred. Out comes the Fenrir. We're looking for Meteo Phase, but wow, that 20k of damage there.
Oh, there we go.
Pushing him down into Calmness Phase without having to go through a Meteo Phase. Golden Shocker there with the quick double Valiant Knife strats for quad 9s here. And it looks like he's getting ready.
Yeah, Falcon's good. He good to go.
Oh, and Double Down getting his lock at critical levels of HP there to start Tier 3. However, F. Coughlin on to Tier 4, right behind Falcon Hit. And I think Golden Shocker is almost ready to join them here with that quick double Valiant Knife swing. Out comes the Calmness for them. So we're going to have 3 Tier 4s at the same time here. The laughter from Kefka can only mean one thing. It's go time, folks. It just is a matter of can Falcon Hit pour on the damage before F. Coughlin catches up here.
I think so.
Alright, so Falcon Hit is going for the steal of the Megalixir and unfortunately could not get it. And it looks like he's waiting for Goner there, so out comes the charge for Goner. Maybe he wanted Fallen One with those Valiant Knife users, but he's not going to get it. F. Coughlin here, having to use Sword Tech 7 is a little bit slower than the Valiant Knives here. We'll see if Falcon Hit has enough damage to go ahead and kill Kefka here. Double Down also joining the rest of our runners at Tier 4, but Falcon Hit does take down the Clown. 1:10:24 final time. Get your GGs for Falcon Hit in the chat.
Nice.
Meanwhile, it's a Golden Shocker versus F. Coughlin here for second place. Flame Shield's coming out. We don't need it anymore. We could use things other than Merton here, it seems. As we got Sword Tech 7 coming out. Does F. Coughlin succumb to Goner? And it doesn't look like it. That's going to be it for them. 1:11:03 final time. In second place this week, All right, Golden Shocker has got to be close here. Yep, that is it. 111.22 for them. Meanwhile, here comes the quick for Double Down. The quick double Valiant Knife here for Locke, but doesn't even get the second quick cast off. That is going to do it for them as well. 111.36. So 1 minute and 12 seconds separate 4 runners in Megalixir here. What an insane race this was.
Oh, man, that's so close. That is really close.
It was quite close. Oh, man. So, let's bring you up to the standings now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and expand this a little bit here. There it is. So after week 2, here are our current standings. Golden Shocker taking home first place this week, and being in third place last week means that they have 13 points. F. Coughlin with 2 second place finishes means that they have 12 points. Falcon Hit got a first place this week and a 6th place last week, or 5th place last week. So they are at 11 points. Double Down and Drinks Glue, your mentor, tied with 6 points rather. And then that's going to round out the top 5 there. And then we have Mark, Judge Joe, and Taco Mage with 2 points. And then me and reigning champion Gar and Javinator and Physics Shebang all with 1 single point. After some of us didn't finish first week, some of us didn't finish last week. But remember, 2 of our races are dropped per the end of 6 weeks. So we still have time to make that up. And that's kind of a good lesson for everybody here is don't count yourself out yet. Even if you have a bad run or 2, there's still plenty of time in Ultros League there. And just to show you kind of what the race result looked like from last week, let's pull that up. So it was it was pretty crazy, pretty close all across the board here rather. So week 2 in Megalixir. So yeah, those were the times. So Falcon Hit 110.24, 111.03, and then we had Drinks Glue come in 5th place with 114, Physic with a 116, basically me 10 seconds later, Judge Joe basically 2 minutes later, and then Gar just after that. So
I was about to say, you don't want to even see mine.
And then we have Mark and Taco Mage finishing out the runs there, but insanely close times here in the Megalixir division. So.
Like I said, you don't even see mine in Tonic.
Well, listen, if you would like to have your run broadcasted, then just hit up one of the restreamers, or just use the @restreamer role in our Discord, and we can do a sync race of some of the pods. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Megalixir crew. I just knew that this is a very tight race at the top, so I wanted to showcase it for you all.
Oh, I know it is. That's a very tight group of people. I know all of them.
So yeah, any other final thoughts, E-Ninja, before we get out of here for the night?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything. I mean, it was a very close race.
Yeah, this was pretty nuts here.
I mean, within 2.5 minutes of each other? Roughly 2.5, 3 minutes?
Yep. So 1 minute and 12-second difference between first and fourth.
Yeah.
Wild, huh?
Huh.
As a matter of fact, between the first 8 runners, there was only a 7.5 minute difference, which is crazy. That's a Kefka refight, basically, right? So
yes. And don't get me on Kefka refights. I had to do one today during my seed.
Well, everybody does them every once in a while. So, anyways, Moogles, thank you so much for hanging out in the chat with us. I know that I certainly had a lot of fun. Hopefully, everybody else around here had a lot of fun. And we'll be doing these again sometime soon. So make sure to follow us on Twitch. You'll get notified whenever we do a stream. And subscribe to our YouTube channel where all of our races get uploaded so that you can watch them again and again and again. Other than that, we'll catch you later, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging. Peace out.